Welcome to InTouch, dedicated to real estate professionals worldwide. We're here to educate you, entertain you, and empower you in all facets of real estate. Are you ready for the latest news, trends, and market updates? Then it's time to get in touch. Welcome to the show. Today we find ourselves at Rule 12, which is become a magnet. Now for context, we are at the end of part 1 of our 7 steps to Powerful Paychecks journey. The first part is find the right relationships. And Rule 12, become a magnet, is the last rule in step 3. So let's start off with a scripture that we can reference. There is joy for those who deal justly with others and always do what is right. And that's the challenge right there, is when no one's looking, always doing what is right. And the scripture tells us there is joy for those who deal justly with others and always do what is right. And I'm sure you want to deliver joy to your clients. So my question for you today is simply this: do people desire to meet you? Because the ability to book appointments with potential prospects is heavily influenced by these mental triggers: trust, competency, and likability. You must present yourself as a trustworthy individual to compel others to want to transact with you. You must demonstrate competency in the product or service you are offering so others feel comfortable that you know what you're talking about and that you can help them and meet their needs. And finally, you must be pleasant to talk to and engaging. This way, they will look forward to conducting transactions with you and share their positive experience with others. Today, I'm joined in the studio by Gary Giffin. Gary, welcome to the show.
Great to be here, Andrew. Good morning.
Good morning. Let's talk about becoming a magnet. We know the top producers in our industry, those who are out there that just tend to yield so much business. They have created a magnetic effect. And the referrals abound. They take the lion's share of the business. Sometimes people come out of nowhere. I'm always appalled when I find some broker or agent has stepped into the business. I've never even heard of the person. And within 12 to 24 months, they are outperforming people that have been in the business 10 or 20 years. And they have figured out some magnetic effect that is creating word of mouth and people to do a lot of business with them. So talk about your own experience and what you've seen out there. What is that magnetic effect that people need to integrate into their business?
I think to attract other people, you definitely want to be positive. If you just look at the news and turn on the TV or radio, podcast, whatever it is, there's a lot of negative out there. So if you're positive and you present yourself in a professional manner, people are going to be attracted to you no matter, what business you're in.
Very well said. And I like to say it like this: make the appointment comfortable and convenient. Remember, we're in step 3, which is the appointment. That's what we're discussing. That's the context for all 4 rules. And becoming a magnet starts, as Gary just referenced, with you being pleasant, positive, others wanting to be around you, and making things convenient and comfortable. Your goal is to make it as easy for your prospect to set an appointment with you as possible. You want to come across as relaxed and come without stress or pressure, but give the prospect a handful of choices on different days, locations, or times for the appointment. It sounds so basic, but many times what I hear people saying is, are you available right here, right now, or this specific time? And there's part of that, there's wisdom, because you don't want to destroy your own calendar by just allowing people to choose whatever they want on your calendar and throwing you off. You want to try to line up your appointments and time block and so on and so forth. But at the same token, you want the flexibility so that you have, and you're sharing with the client, you have the impression that you are providing something that is convenient for them as well. So avoid the back and forth on text or email by setting the appointment during your conversation with the prospect, or using a digital calendar link that allows prospects to book a time on your calendar directly. I use a service called Calendly, and I avoid a lot of back and forth with people. I don't have to say, are you available this time? No, I'm not. What about this time? Well, no, I've got something else there. What about this time? All that run around when you can simply have a very inexpensive software. I use Calendly, like I said, and it shows your availability. And they can simply click on a link, they can see what works for them, and they can go ahead and book that. Now, the other thing to take into consideration is when you are booking the appointments, you can time block. You can set a narrow window and say, I'm going to do all of my appointments between, say, 10 and 2 p.m. For me, that's what I prefer. Early morning, I have other things, and later in the afternoon, I've got small children. So we've got soccer and a lot of things that come before dinner and so on and so forth. So I have a window. And that way, my appointments are controlled to the same time every day. It really builds some great momentum and habits. Now, use your attempts to book the appointment as your litmus test when you're interviewing clients. If the prospect is either hesitant or isn't willing to meet, that speaks volumes about their relative level of interest. So, Gary, I'm sure you've been here, right? You're trying to engage the prospect, you're trying to get that appointment, and for whatever reason, there's objection, or hesitance. What's the litmus test for you? And at what point do you pull the eject and just say, this person is not worth pursuing any further?
Yeah, well, before I push the eject button, I'm usually giving the client, you talked about, setting the appointments, giving them options. I will always give my client three options. So I will email, talk to them, text, whatever it is. Here's the 3 days that I have available to show you this property investment, whatever it is. What are the best times for you? And usually I'll give them a couple times also, and I'll narrow it down. And usually, a lot of times too, it might be just for a meeting for a cup of coffee, because you can go back and forth on the phone many times and they don't really get to know you until you can sit down with them in person. So, like you said, and then staying organized for me is a physical calendar, not a digital, because like you said, if you lose an appointment, you've lost that client. And I've done that before with digital. Just too many things going on with the iPhone. So I went back to paper, and paper works best for me. So use whatever works best for you. Most people don't use paper, but it's like going to the Vons. They ask you paper or plastic. Well, I'm taking paper. Paper works. I can set it. I can erase it. And I can see the whole calendar for the week. I'm always looking a week ahead. So, and that's important. You want to tell people that you are busy, your time is valuable, and you do want to. And when you set a time, and you're going to either be there, always be on time, and always text that person, I'm in the parking lot waiting for you. Here's where I'm at, or I'm at this restaurant, or I'm at this property. I've just entered the property. I'm now inside. So just be, make sure that you're being professional.
Yeah, and these are really basic, fundamental things, but sometimes people just forget. Stay organized. Make sure all your appointments are on a physical or digital calendar. Avoid the temptation to attempt to remember appointments you schedule, especially as you age. So whether it's a digital device or something you bring with your personal belongings, you should always have your calendar with you, because missing an appointment could cost you the relationship of a lifetime. And when you do miss one, and everyone from time to time does, be 100% honest if you simply forgot, or share what happened that prevented you from attending. Do not ever bend the truth. Prospects can smell it a mile away. I see this in my own life all the time. I do a tremendous amount of appointments every single week, a lot of virtual conferences, and I give people about 3 or 4 minutes. And if they're not on, I'm going to go ahead and send an email and just simply say, I'm in the Zoom or whatever virtual conference software I'm using. I'm going to wait another couple minutes. And if you forgot, please reschedule. And I'm always blown away by how people who have made an appointment 2 days before, I can see and track that, completely either blow it off or forgot or show up late. And that's the first impression that I have of that individual. And so we all have things that come up and life happens. That's fine. Again, being 100% honest, I forgot, or this came up and I'm going to be late. Whatever it is, the key is to be 100% honest because it can cost you a big relationship. And you want to make people want to be around you, becoming a magnet by being friendly and positive, presenting yourself professionally. If you meet people once and they don't want to meet you again, something is leaving the wrong impression. And you want to work to improve your personal appearance and emotional intelligence during your meetings. As I mentioned, when somebody shows up late or misses an appointment with me and they do it twice or even a third time, I realize that that individual has not built the discipline. They're either not keeping a calendar, they're disorganized, they're forgetful, but that is not someone I want to do business with. And so your clients, if they're having any level of that impression, will have similar thoughts. Now, when you do get together with people, be a good listener and value the client's needs. Simply put, help the prospects get what they want and accomplish the goals they wish to achieve. This is the key to increasing transaction volume. And you do it the right way by putting other people's interests first, and you'll be successful for the long term. Clients want to deal with truthful, confident people. So develop your honesty, integrity, and ethics, and your confidence will follow. So, Gary, that leads us to our paycheck principle number 12, which is inspire others to want to meet you. So how do you do that? How do you inspire others to want to get together with you?
Well, most people, well, at least within this company, know who I am. So they will usually look you up to see who you are. And then when you talk to them on the phone, they will find out who you really are. So make sure that when you're talking to people on the phone, that you're smiling, that you're in a good mood. Don't pick up the phone if for some reason you have, dropped a glass and broke it and and you're all mad about something, whatever it is. That's not the time to pick up the phone. It's okay to wait and talk to that person when you're in the right mental attitude. So put a smile on your face, and that will be a magnet for other people because they want to know why you're always in a good mood or why you're happy or what you're doing, right? So that's always the key.
And I like that you brought up the online background checking that happens inevitably when new relationships are being formed. So that is part of the magnetic effect. If you are a vibrant, kind, positive person, yet when they jump online to check out who you really are, and they come to find out that you have posts and who knows what online that doesn't illustrate the same character that you're reflecting over the phone, well, that can be problematic. So you do want to make sure your social online presence matches who you truly are. At the end of the day, we take a look at shaping our character and we put a core value and focus with each one of these rules. Today, that core value and focus is relationships. Relationships will help you become a magnet. So as you reflect on ways to attract others, consider how relationships can help you master this rule, because relationships are the core of influence. The best kind of new and repeat business is through referrals, when a third party endorses your product or service. Therefore, if you develop healthy relationships with influential and satisfied clients, you will generate new business by word of mouth, which is the most powerful form of advertising. So, Gary, I know most of your business at this stage is referral based. Any thoughts, comments, suggestions for somebody who's just moving out of a transactional mindset into a relational mindset?
Oh yeah, it's so much easier to be in a referral business where somebody you've helped them before or you've helped a friend before, and they're calling you and saying, "Hey Gary, I've got this client. They need help with such and such, this listing or whatever it is," and to get that phone call, it basically means that they trust you with a referral of a friend or a family member. That's amazing when that happens, and it always makes me smile when I get those calls because I do have a certain core um, clients that have referred me business over the years. Some of them have gone away, so that business has gone away, but the relationship's not gone away, right? I still contact them. Hey, how you doing? How are you enjoying Las Vegas or wherever they moved to Texas? How is it out there? Is it as hot as they say it is? Are you ready to move back to San Diego? And I will, joke with them a little bit. And most of those people I still stay in contact with because it is a relationship, right? Just because they moved away or whatever happened, they're still good friends. And after so many years of doing this, you just create that level of trust with these people. I know that they can call you and say, "Hey, here's this person. Can you take care of them?" Oh, absolutely. Let's do it. I'll make the phone call right now. And they know that I'm going to follow up and then get back with them and say, "Hey, this didn't work," or "Yeah, this was fantastic. Thank you. I'm going to send you a little gift," and they get excited. So that's just how you treat people.
Yeah, and when people witness your talent through a positive customer experience, your name or product will be at the tip of their tongues. And when you go above and beyond by continuing to develop the relationship beyond the transaction, you earn more credibility. And at that point, they will consider you more than just a professional resource for a product or service and see you more as a trusted person within their inner circle who they want to help succeed on a personal level. That is where you want to get to. So become a magnet by developing relationships by the golden rule. Do unto others as you wish them to do unto you. Now let's wrap up with a few verses in scripture to reference. Desire to work diligently and become a leader. Choose to have a glad heart. Decide to avoid fools. The result is your inspiring words will cheer people up. And the promise is heartfelt advice from a friend is pleasant. And here's some words of wisdom. For the despondent, every day brings trouble. For the happy heart, life is a continual feast. And here's some questions to meditate on this week. How are you attracting people? What impact are you having on their lives? Does your unique selling proposition make people interested? Do you wholeheartedly put God above all else? And here's your call to action. Be authentic. Be sincere. Keep it real. Become magnetic. We hope today's message has blessed you, and we will catch you next time